I am Vasil Lomachenko. You're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So a lot of fans have been wondering, when is Ryan Garcia going to be tested? When is he going to step up in competition? So Oscar De La Hoya, he finally decided to match Ryan Garcia tough against a fighter by the name of Romero Duno. Now, some of you guys, and probably the majority of you guys, have probably never even heard of Romero Duno, but if you haven't heard of him, this is all you need to know. This is the first opponent that Ryan Garcia has turned down against his promoter's orders, at least on paper. And obviously, I'm not including other fighters that have called him out. I'm specifically talking about fighters that Oscar De La Hoya requested or advised him to fight. So now let's get into the excuse of why Ryan Garcia turned down this fight. This is a statement he issued on his Twitter. He says, to all my fans, yes, I was supposed to fight Romero Duno in September. I decided not to go with that because I wanted to fight him as a main event in November and not be some co-main event on a card that will be driven by me. I also elected to fight the guy that gave Duno problems for September. The bottom line is I deserve the right promotion for fights with the full time to promote and not be thrown into a fight and have myself do the whole promotion, knowing my fan base, they will tune in no matter what. But I deserve to have a full promotion fight with Duno, end quote. So you heard Ryan Garcia say right there that he doesn't want to fight Romero in September, but instead he volunteered to fight the guy that lost to Romero, but gave Romero a tough test in losing to him. The guy's name is Juan Antonio Rodriguez. Now, before I give you guys my take on the situation, let me give you guys Romero Duno's take on how he responded to what Ryan Garcia said about turning down the fight. Quote, I agreed to all the terms that they set for September, or for the September bout, but it seems like Ryan has changed his mind. It's very disappointing. He names himself king, but no king runs away from anybody, end quote. All right, now let me go ahead and take it from there. You know, I notice in almost every article that is written about Ryan Garcia, the writer always mentions how popular Ryan Garcia is. They always put the wildly popular Ryan Garcia, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is a good thing. This is good for the sport of boxing. But one thing people have to realize, and Ryan Garcia in particular, is a lot of Ryan's fame has come from him fighting on undercards. Not fighting in the main event. It comes from him fighting on undercards and putting those highlights on social media. Now, when you hear Ryan Garcia talk about wanting this fight to be promoted the proper way, it sounds like he's questioning how well Oscar De La Hoya is promoting him. Now, you could call Oscar De La Hoya whatever you want to call him. I know he's been criticized of not promoting black fighters the right way, but there's one thing Oscar De La Hoya definitely knows how to do, is he knows how to promote a Mexican fighter. So I don't agree with Ryan when he says he's not being, or that fight is not being promoted the proper way. Oscar De La Hoya is one of the main reasons Ryan Garcia is popular today. Don't get me wrong, Ryan Garcia himself, he's also done a great job of promoting himself as well. But let's face it, Oscar De La Hoya is promoting Ryan Garcia as the next Canelo Alvarez. And quite frankly, he's promoting him the same way he promoted Canelo Alvarez. Every fighter that I can think of, every fighter that was groomed to be a superstar, they all had to fight some tough, either undefeated fighter or just a former champion, someone like that. They had to do it on someone's undercard. So for Ryan Garcia to say he doesn't want to take his first tough test as a co-main event, to me, it doesn't make any sense. Because even Ryan Garcia admitted in that tweet that his fans are going to watch him no matter who he fights. His fans are going to follow him. Something else this further proves, as I always tell you guys, this proves, just like I said in the Canelo video, this proves that it was never the promoter that was holding Ryan Garcia back. I say this when it comes to Anthony Joshua, when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, when it comes to any fighter. This is further proof that it's Ryan Garcia deciding who he wants to fight, when he wants to step up in competition, because Oscar De La Hoya was trying to put him in tough, and it's Ryan Garcia that wants to regress. I mean, by way of contrast, you have all of these fighters that have already stepped up against tough competition, from Shakur Stevenson to Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, all of Ryan Garcia's peers. They've all stepped up in competition, and I can't recall any of them or any other undefeated prospects being ordered to fight some tough fighter, and that fighter tells his promoter, well, how about I fight the guy that lost to him first, and then I fight him afterwards. I mean, to put it in a better perspective, that's like Bob Arum ordering Shakur Stevenson to fight Oscar Valdez next, and Shakur says, wait a minute, can I fight the guy that lost to Oscar Valdez first? And then I'll fight Oscar after that. But wait, Bob, I'll only fight him then if I'm in the main event. Now, the real interesting thing is, by way of contrast, Shakur Stevenson, the opposite. He's going after all of the toughest opponents, all the toughest fighters, the toughest champions, if you will. Shakur Stevenson, he was Oscar Valdez's mandatory, called out Oscar Valdez, and Oscar Valdez, he turned down the fight, vacated his belt, and moved up in weight. And the crazy thing is, if Oscar Valdez would have fought Shakur Stevenson and beat Shakur, that would have propelled him into star status, superstar status, if you will. Because even though Oscar Valdez was the champion, it would almost be like Andy Ruiz beating Anthony Joshua. So just to give you guys some more contrast, when it comes to Shakur Stevenson, he's actually had a hard time getting tough opponents in the ring. He's had about 5 to 6 opponents or possible opponents actually turn down the opportunity to fight him. And now he even had a champion in Oscar Valdez vacate rather than defend his title and fight Shakur Stevenson. So when it comes to Ryan Garcia, there's no doubt about it, he is popular. But I have to tell you guys, when it comes to boxing, popularity and resume, those two words are synonymous in the sport of boxing. They have to go hand in hand. There are exceptions, but it is very difficult to be a superstar without the opponents that go with it. I mean, in Hollywood, they can make anyone a star. But in boxing, the majority of times, a star is born. And what that means is, people around you can't make you a star. You have to have the natural talent to make yourself a star. You have to have the potential. You have to be born with the potential to become a star. In other words, the media, the old media, and everyone else, sure, they could tell the boxing world that a certain fighter is the next big thing, and he's going to be the best. Keep trying to program us to believe that, but if we don't see the actions, if we don't see the proof in the ring, then it doesn't matter what the old media tells the boxing world. The media and the fans cannot make you a better fighter. You have to show and prove in the sport of boxing. And I hope Ryan Garcia does that. Once again, he says that he didn't want to fight Romero Duno in September. He would rather fight the guy that Romero lost to in September, and then he would prefer to fight Duno in November, but only if it's in a main event fight. If I were Ryan Garcia, I would go ahead, get in the ring, beat Romero, and then start asking to be put in the main event the next time he steps up in competition. Ryan Garcia beating Duno, that will prove that Ryan Garcia, he does deserve to fight in a main event in his next step up in competition. And let me close out with saying this. I meant to mention this earlier, but when I was making the comparison to Shakur Stevenson, I know some fans are gonna say, well, hey Dante, that's not fair because Ryan is more popular than Shakur Stevenson. But keep in mind, guys, Oscar De La Hoya did the same thing that Shakur Stevenson is doing today. Oscar De La Hoya was fighting tough competition, stepping up in competition on other fighters' undercards. So the fame or the popularity is not an excuse. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.